welcome into the show. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Chase Sr., and here's what we're talking about on the show today. Brock Purdy hopped on Bussin With The Boys, said a couple of intriguing, interesting things. Also, Niner fans get some promising news on Nick Bosa heading into the 2025 season. Stay tuned for all of that, but I want to hit this first. Join the movement, lock us in, hit that subscribe button. We're always trying to find ways to compete with other channels here at Chat Sports and compete with ourselves. Yesterday, we picked up and gained 30 new subscribers. On this show alone, I want to beat that number. And how about this, too? Since we flipped the page to the month of July, the 49ers Report has gained 113 new subscribers. Seahawks today, 111 new subscribers. I don't want this to be a competition. We only had the edge by 2 subs. This is a week 1 matchup between San Francisco and Seattle. It's a great rivalry inside the NFC West. It's an awesome rivalry inside the walls of Chat Sports. Let's annihilate the Seahawks, and as always, F Seattle. So yesterday, Brock Purdy on with Bussin With The Boys. Really good podcast, and the whole episode ranged 2.5 hours. Purdy wasn't on for that entire period of time. But it was a really good episode when he was on. And if you don't know the concept of it, Taylor Lewan, Will Compton, former NFL players, they've been doing this podcast for a long time. Used to be under the Barstool umbrella. Now it's no longer. It's under the FanDuel umbrella. And it's called Bussin With The Boys because they bring guests on. They literally sit in a bus, share some laughs, share some stories, talk some ball, and have a really good conversation. George Kittle was on this podcast a couple of weeks ago, and now Brock Purdy here, as you can see. Check that show out. It's up on YouTube and on a bunch of podcasting platforms. And a couple of the takeaways that I have from this show, I saw this tweet from Coach Yak, and it rang a bell when I was watching the episode. Brock Purdy talking about when players on the Niners started to notice that he could actually play during his rookie year. Here's what Purdy had to say. Quote, before the first preseason game, we're at practice, it ends, and we come in, and I could see Fred Warner talking to Trent Williams. For some reason, I saw them talking, and I saw Fred say, quote, I can't wait to watch this Purdy kid at the preseason game tomorrow against the Packers. At this point, my head was down, just trying to do good at practice and all that, but I was like, all right, they are noticing, the starters, the guys, they're seeing something. And Purdy also added that everybody saw, and Purdy had an idea that people were noticing how he was throwing accurate passes, he was throwing with timing and anticipation, and those are big boy mature quarterback skills that people started to realize very, very early. Purdy also shared a story about how he thought he was getting cut as a rookie. Remember, he was Mr. Irrelevant. Final pick in the 2022 NFL Draft out of Iowa. He was not a sure thing to make the Niners roster. He said, we're in the quarterback room, and then Kyle Shanahan opened up the door and goes, hey, Brock, can you grab your stuff and come talk to me? I was like, am I getting cut? And he goes, nah, I'm kidding. Set your stuff down. Congrats, bro. Dap me up. My heart was pounding. So, look, we don't often see a lot of personality from Kyle Shanahan, but when I was around the Niners during that run to the Super Bowl, I asked them about their culture because everybody is so tight. Everybody is so upbeat. They love ball. There are a lot of personalities. And I asked, why does culture lead to consistent winning? And a lot of the players had said, it starts and ends with Kyle Shanahan. He wants you to love ball. He wants you to appreciate the game of football. He wants you to take your craft very seriously. And in that area, there is an expectation that if you play for the Niners, you have to be all in. But Kyle Shanahan also gives us a leash to just be ourselves. And so there's a very fine balance. And Kyle Shanahan is known to be a player's coach. You hear Trent Williams and Brock Purdy, George Kittle talk about him. They've shared that he does have a decent personality. That personality on display. Hey, Brock, get your things. Purdy thinks, oh, no, I'm getting cut. Nah, I'm just kidding. You're good. Congrats. You made the team. That's a pretty cool story right there. And I just want to turn the clocks back to 2022. Purdy is drafted with the final pick of the 2022 NFL Draft. He performed very well during training camp. Other people started to notice, his coaches, his teammates, as he just shared on Bussin With The Boys. But then during the preseason, some of the skills that have led to him being an elite quarterback, processing, timing, accuracy, anticipation, mobility, athleticism, good enough arm strength. You don't have to have a bazooka, but his arm strength is ample enough. He displayed all of that during these preseason games. And so for my final Niners roster projection, this is this video here from 2022 to my right. I had mentioned that, look, the Niners can't afford to cut Brock Purdy and run the risk of him going through waivers and bringing him back on the practice squad. He's been too good. And because he plays quarterback, because he played so well, another team will snatch him up. So Purdy shares that story. I share this story from 2022, and it goes to show you that Purdy, as a rookie, was really balling after being Mr. Irrelevant.
I think that San Francisco has been really impressed with what Brock Purdy has been able to do. And if he were to be let go, because he plays quarterback, he showed promise and potential, I don't think he'd clear waivers. So I don't think that the Niners would be able to bring him back. And I think they really like a guy who they found with the Mr. Irrelevant selection, the final pick in the NFL Draft. So I think San Francisco, at least my early read on this with how well he's played in 2 preseason games, they're going to go with 3 QBs on that 53-man roster.
And so you saw the lower third there. I was basically saying the Niners can't cut Purdy. He has to make this 53-man roster. If he does get cut, he could get snatched up. And I predicted that the Niners were going to hold on to 3 quarterbacks instead of 2. The 3 quarterbacks who made the roster that year, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy. Trey Lance started the year. Jimmy G came in for an injured Lance after he snapped his ankle. Jimmy G got hurt. Then Brock Purdy came in that Miami game, never looked back. Did not lose until the NFC Championship game. And so I kind of hit the nail on the head with that prediction and that projection. The Niners thought the same thing as me. He is too good to not include on this 53-man roster. Here we are going into 2025. Purdy has become a top 10 highest paid quarterback. I was a lot skinnier there as well. At that point, I was running like 3 to 6 miles per day at a 6:30 to 7:30 pace. Now I'm more into weightlifting, and I'm a lot stronger than I was back then. And Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than he was then. There's this one as well. Brock Purdy was asked a funny question by Taylor Lewan. Would he rather win 1 Super Bowl in his career with the 49ers or win 3 with the rival Seattle Seahawks? He said, I'm going Niners, bro. Bang, bang all the way. Purdy also said, thanks to this tweet from Coach Yak, he would go to jail for a year if it meant winning the Super Bowl. George Kittle said the same thing. But George Kittle also said, as long as I don't have to go to San Quentin. Because when we made a visit there, one of the inmates said, who's that tight end on the roster? I'm interested. Kittle said, I don't play tight end. I'm good. But how about Purdy being loyal to the Bang Bang Niner gang? Red and gold till he's dead and cold. 1 Super Bowl win over 3 instead of those 3 coming with Seattle. You got to love to hear that. And then Purdy shared this story on Trent Williams. He does this ninja move thing and then pushes guys in the ground, and then outside of that, just pass and stuff. He's locked down over there. And so year after year for me, blindside as a quarterback, right-handed quarterback, knowing that my left side is good, I can't even describe it to you. It's like a sense of freedom. We always ask ourselves every year when he comes back, we're like, is Trent still going to be the same? Is this still the Trent Williams? Dude, year after year, he's the same guy. I absolutely love him. For me to be a quarterback in the NFL and have that guy blocking for me, dude, it doesn't get any better. He's like my little safety blanket. And I'm like, I need my binky, and I need him to be in the game. This is why I always say the Niners have to start planning for the future at that offensive tackle spot. We're talking left tackle. We're talking right tackle too. Trent Williams is going to be 37 years old this month. Colton McKivitz is in the final year of his deal. Brock Purdy even said it. When I know I don't have to worry about the pressure coming from that left side because Trent Williams is there, it frees me up mentally and with my game. That's the importance of having a good offensive line. So will Brock Purdy throw for over or under 30 touchdowns in 2025? That's the poll question for today's show. Have some fun with it. Get your predictions in. And if you're a betting man, I want to see what you come up with. Type O for over or U for under. Still to come, Niners fans get some promising news on Nick Bosa. And also, have people just started to sleep on how good Bosa is? We're going to have that conversation coming up just around the corner. I do want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, our friends at Chubbies. I am wearing these khaki shorts right now here on the show. I love them. They become a staple of my wardrobe. And Chubbies has comfy, casual, built-for-life clothing items, especially with the Chubbies original stretch shorts. They can live on your legs, available in long, short, and waist short. They come with the relaxed fit, elastic waistband, no fuss design. I have the short ones. I didn't go waist short because I didn't want to reveal myself. These are the kinds of shorts you'll forget you're wearing until you get an onslaught of high fives and compliments. I also really like the Chubbies Performance Polo. Get that, because with the top and the bottom, you'll be looking pristine. For a brunch, a backyard party, you're going golfing, you're crashing a wedding, this fits multiple occasions. And look, you got to get the classic line swim trunks as well. Summer is here. Enhance your summer wardrobe. But when you go to the beach, when you go to the lake, you go to Lake Tahoe, you're by the pool, you got to wear some Chubbies classic line swim trunks. You can rock a polo with these swim trunks as well. Chubbies has taken everything annoying out about old swimsuits, like that scratchy mesh liner that nobody likes. They've replaced it with a soft, supportive boxer brief that keeps you dry, comfortable, and chafe-free. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, casual Fridays, hitting the golf course, getting some drinks with some friends, or a loved one, Chubbies has you covered for a limited time. Chubbies is giving our listeners, our viewers, 20% off your order when you use the code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. That's code CHAT using that link down below. Support our show. Let them know that we sent you. Summer is here. I want you to dress like it in Chubbies. So with NFL training camps getting underway soon for the Niners, rookies reporting in 6 days as of this recording on July 15th. Veterans reporting on July 22nd. ESPN does this thing every year where execs, coaches, scouts, they all get together and rank the best players at each position. Today's release after yesterday was defensive tackles, and before that running backs, was edge rushers. Nick Bosa coming in at number 5 going into the 2025 campaign, behind Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and Maxx Crosby. That's a loaded crop of players to be a part of. Some might argue Bosa should be higher. Some might say he should be lower. Some might say number 5 is right on. I think number 5 is right on just because of the lack of production as far as sacks that Bosa has had over the last couple of years. Some of you might say Bosa needs to be higher because he's getting paid all that money, that he's been an awful contract so far. I'm not going to go that far. Bosa's been an incredible player for this Niners team ever since he got drafted number 2 out of Ohio State in 2019. Also factor in that if you're obsessing over the lack of sack numbers, hasn't had a lot of help along that defensive line. And some of these metrics here speak to how special of a player Bosa has been despite not sacking the quarterback all that much over the last couple of years. And ESPN made note of that. Bosa is an eye-test pass rusher. While his 19.5 sacks over the past 2 seasons represent mild production for a top 5 pass rusher, Bosa's disruption is obvious. His leverage, explosiveness, power, and polished rush arsenal are unmatched, said an NFL personnel director. He has the same rush moves as his brother Joey Bosa, but has better play strength to win in a variety of ways. Bosa posted a 22.2% pass rush win rate, up nearly 4 points from the previous year. His .7 get-off in 2024, the quickest in his career, tied with Garrett for the best of the season. Since 2021, Bosa has generated 121 quick pressures, under 2.5 seconds. That's the 5th most in the NFL during that span. 4 players in the NFL have at least 60 sacks and 10 fumbles forced since 2019. Watt, Garrett, Bosa, Hendrickson. Those are all some of the top players in the game at that pass rushing spot. So give credit where credit is due, and don't be a casual and just look at the sack numbers. Some of these deep dive numbers are very, very impressive. And over the last few years, in 2022, that's when Bosa won Defensive Player of the Year. 18 and a half sacks. He ranked third in overall PFF grade at 90.9. The following year, the sack numbers went down. His numbers were even better in this department, and he was second in the NFL at 92.7. Even in 2024, he was at a 91. That's fourth in the league. He missed 3 games. He would have had double-digit sacks if he didn't miss those 3 games. His pass rush grade the last 3 years, 90.9 in 2022 when he won DPOY again. That was third. In 2023, the grade went up after he got that contract, still third. In 2024, the grade went down. He was still fourth. Again, he missed those 3 games. His pressure numbers, he had 90 pressures when he won DPOY, first in the NFL. The following year, again, despite the sack numbers going down, the pressure numbers went up. That was third in the NFL. Last year, he missed those 3 games. It went down to 69. Nice. It was still 6th in the NFL. So you look at his sack numbers. Again, PFF does not count half sacks. So they counted 19 sacks in 2022, first in the NFL. 2023, 14 sacks. That ranked 10th. In 2024, he had 10 sacks. That was 15th. Again, he missed those 3 games. I kind of look at sack numbers sometimes like wins and losses for a pitcher. It doesn't tell the full story. A pitcher could go 5-15, but what is his ERA? If the ERA is a 3.02, yet he lost 15 games, don't focus on the win-losses. Focus on the ERA. Focus on the whip. Focus on the strikeout numbers. For a pass rusher, sack numbers are not always the telltale numbers that you want to focus in on. You got to look at the pressure numbers. You got to look at the pressure rate, the pressure percentage. You got to look at the get-off. How impactful has he been? And Nick Bosa has been an impactful player. And according to NFL scouts, executives, and coaches, he's still highly regarded as a top 5 pass rusher in the game. And now, making $34 million per year, he's no longer the highest paid player at that position. And I think this year, he gets back to that Defensive Player of the Year type of production. Why? He has more help around him. What say you? Where would you rank Bosa? Higher than 5, right at 5, lower than 5? Give me a numerical number. Join the conversation down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you later here on the show.